I'm Jillian for Patch.com and welcome back to my kitchen. Today I'm at the stove making my mother's famous sweet rosemary grilled chicken. The first thing we're going to do for this recipe is marinate the chicken, and we're going to use the stove top to mix all of the ingredients in the marinade. So let's begin with the ingredients. First we're going to melt half a stick of butter in a large pan. And this should be on medium to high heat. And this recipe was my absolute favorite recipe my mom made with chicken growing up. It was just sweet and delicious, and it was a little bit sticky, and I just loved it right off the grill. It reminds me of summer. So we'll just melt the butter, and when that butter is melted, we'll add the following ingredients. 2 tablespoons of Dijon mustard, and all of this just goes right on to the pan. Well, it doesn't go on the pan, it goes in the pan. Alright, next we have a half a cup of honey, and this just adds the sweetness of the chicken, which is my favorite part. So get all that honey in there. Next, we'll add a 1/4 cup of Rose's lime juice, and all that is sweetened lime juice. So if you don't have roses, you can always just add a little bit of sugar to your lime juice. Next, we have 2 crushed cloves of garlic. Get all of that in. And then here's the really important part. 1 teaspoon of savory and 1 teaspoon of rosemary. And the rosemary really flavors the chicken. So we'll just mix all of that in. And it's not going to be the prettiest marinade, but I assure you, it's the tastiest. So all that's pretty much incorporated. We're going to just add a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper to taste. And once this comes to a boil, we'll let it just continue to boil for about a minute. And then we'll shut the stove off, and we'll add the chicken. So I got boneless, skinless chicken breast, and this recipe covers 3 to 6 breasts. So you can buy any amount that you want for your family. So I'm just going to put it in the marinade, and now the heat is off the stove. And I'm just going to make sure they're all covered in the marinade. And just flip them, make sure it's covered thoroughly. And I'm going to let it sit on the stove for 20 minutes, and then it's time to put on the grill. So we're outside on the grill, and I've let the grill just preheat so that it's nice and hot when we put the chicken on it. And we're going to put the chicken on and let it cook for about 5 to 6 minutes on each side. And that's a nice sound. Hear it sizzle. Alright, so we're just going to close the cover and let that cook. It's time to rebaste the chicken. So I've saved the marinade and then flip. So I'm just going to, see those nice grill marks? I'm just going to dunk the chicken in the marinade one more time so it gets all that juicy goodness on there. And let the other side thoroughly cook. There we go. And we'll let the next side cook again for 5 to 6 minutes, and then we'll be ready to eat it. The chicken's ready to be taken off the grill. So I'm just going to take it off. And I'm going to show you how delicious it is. perfectly cooked, juicy white meat chicken. And trust me, you're going to love it. See you soon.